On September 28, 2025, the attack used missiles, many drones. It hit homes facilities. Ukraine responded fast the next day. Ukraine struck Belgorod on September 29, 2025. The hit damaged a power plant. It also hit an electrical substation. Blackouts followed across the city. Officials named the facility TETS-4. The plant supplies heat and power to large districts. Local leaders confirmed outages and service failures. The strike drew attention worldwide. This essay explains the event. It uses public reports videos. It names dates and leaders. On September 28th, Russia launched a major aerial attack. Nearly 500 drones were reported. More than 40 cruise missiles were also used. Air defenses engaged many incoming weapons. Some missiles broke through defenses. Kyiv suffered strikes and damage. Other cities suffered strikes and damage. Casualties were reported. The Kyiv Independent listed several hit regions. Zaporizhzhia was affected. Sumy was affected. Khmelnytsky was affected. Kyiv reported damaged buildings and killed civilians. A 12-year-old girl was among the dead. This attack was long and sustained. It lasted for many hours overnight. It used Tu-95 bombers in part. The scale alarmed many observers, you know. Section 3. Ukraine's strike on Belgorod. Ukraine struck Belgorod on September 29th. The target was near the border. The strike hit a major thermal plant. Reports say TETS-4 was hit repeatedly. Multiple direct impacts were visible. Fires burned at the site. The substation also showed damage. Belgorod lost power in many areas. Hospitals ran on backup generators. Water supply was limited in some districts. Officials said no deaths were reported. Kyiv framed the strike as retaliation. President Zelensky had warned of reciprocal action. Local commentators noted the message. International commentators noted the message. The hit was precise, according to many analysts. Section 4. Evidence and local reports. The Belgorod governor, Vyacheslav Gladkov, confirmed the strike. He said enemy missiles hit the plant. He detailed outages. He detailed service losses. Geolocated footage matched the governor's statement. Videos showed large plumes of black smoke. Fire footage came from multiple angles. Social media carried images of damage. Outage maps circulated on Telegram. Outage maps circulated on local channels. These maps showed wide electricity loss. Hospitals posted notices about generators. Police posted notices about generators. Local utility statements confirmed disruptions. Independent outlets like the Kyiv Post reported the events. Independent outlets like Euromaidan Press reported the events. Analysts assessed the damage for weapon signatures. The scale suggested more than small drones, you know. Many experts pointed to M31 strikes. The M31 is a US-made GMLRS rocket. It is precision-guided and powerful. It carries a roughly 200-pound warhead. It can strike at long range from HIMARS M270. Video analysts said impacts matched M31 effects. The Kyiv Post reported this assessment. If true, American weapons were used on Russian soil. That has major diplomatic weight. Ukraine has launchers capable of firing the M31. The weapon's range can reach Belgorod from Ukrainian positions. The U.S. previously limited use of American weapons against Russia. A review process required approval for strikes. Permission was hard to gain in earlier months of 2025. President Trump met President Zelensky at the UN days before the Belgorod strike. Reports said Trump was open to lifting some limits. Officials then signaled change flexibility. The apparent M31 use implies U.S. approval for this strike. That approval marks a policy shift. It alters how Ukraine can respond across the border. The change also raises questions. Which weapons will be approved next? Could ATACMS Tomahawks be considered? The answers affect escalation risk. Those are big unknowns. The Kremlin denounced the Belgorod strike and called the action a terrorist act. Russian officials released lists of alleged crimes by Kyiv. Spokespeople such as Dmitry Peskov asked who would fire U.S. missiles warned about foreign involvement. Other leaders threatened retaliation for foreign participation. Russian outlets amplified civilian hardship in Belgorod, showing hospitals on generators and water shortages. The coverage aimed to shape domestic sentiment against Ukraine. Outside Russia, many observers called that coverage propaganda, noting Russia's long record of strikes on Ukrainian civilians. Critics said the messaging tried to flip blame. This strike fits into a pattern of tit-for-tat strikes. Russia has used mass drone waves. Russia has used mass missile waves across 2024 through 2025, and Ukraine has responded with long-range raids. In August 2024, Ukraine struck targets inside Russia, including Kursk. Those strikes showed Ukrainian reach and signaled Kyiv's willingness to hit border infrastructure. Russia's bombardments have killed many civilians. UN data through mid-2025. This event signals a new phase of the conflict. Ukraine can now use some U.S. long-range weapons against Russia. That alters both military balance and political calculations. Risk of escalation has risen, and Russia may sharpen attacks in response. NATO and partners face pressure to clarify policies and limits. The chance of wider involvement grows. Key takeaways are clear. First, the September 28th through 29th sequence shows tit-for-tat dynamics. Second, U.S. approval of some weapons marks a policy shift.